Veronica is a 2017 Spanish horror film that is now available on Netflix. It was directed by Paco Plaza, who also co-directed the fantastic Dot Record and its sequels. It is loosely based on a true story, but very loosely, as in kinda but not really. It has an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes and scored a 6.4 on IMDb, and has garnered quite the internet buzz, some even saying that it's the scariest movie they've ever seen, and some say it's very difficult to finish due to the scare factor. While it's nowhere close to the scariest film in my opinion, it is filled with tried and true horror movie tropes and is very well made. It has a genuine creepy feel. The atmosphere and cinematography are top notch, and the locations they filmed at gave it a perfect eerie vibe. The apartment building in which Veronica lives truly has a personality all its own, much in the way the hotel did in The Shining, and the way they shot it gave it a menacing and foreboding feeling throughout. So with spoilers abound, let's look closer at Veronica. The story takes place in 1991 and opens with a panic call to emergency services. We are told that he is in the house, and the operator does what she can to get more information from the caller. We follow Detective Romero as he and his officers make their way through the apartment building. When they finally arrive at their destination, we see their stunned faces and jump cut to 3 days earlier. While I do like this style of storytelling, it has become very cliche. We do a cold open into the action, the jump cut to the events leading to the finale we have already seen. It's a stylistic approach, but it's really not necessary here. We are then introduced to Veronica, a 15-year-old girl who solely takes care of her 3 other siblings, Lucia, Irene, and the fantastic little Antonito. All 3 kids are absolutely brilliant in this film. In fact, I believe the true strength of this movie is that you do care about these kids, and they are genuinely likable. We soon learn that Veronica's father has passed away, and that her mother runs a local bar and is pretty much absent, leaving Veronica as the 3 younger siblings' caretaker. She has to bathe them, feed them, prepare them for school, and is really the head of the household. At one point we're shown pills on the mother's nightstand, but that isn't followed up on any further. During school hours, 3 days prior to the events at the start of the film, there's a solar eclipse, during which Veronica and her 2 friends, Rosa and Diana, head off to the bowels of the Catholic school to use a Ouija board in order to contact Veronica's dead father. Of course, we've seen this before. Anytime there's a Ouija board in a horror movie, it works. Veronica is rendered unconscious. The board breaks and the glass they're using shatters. Veronica lets go a terrible scream. Her mouth opens unnaturally wide, like really scary wide. She awakens in the nurse's office, and the nurse tells her she needs more iron, so eat some red meat. Veronica then of course has strange things begin to happen to her. She tries to eat that red meat prescribed to her, but freezes up and rattles a fork in her mouth before spitting it up. I don't know, maybe the demon's a vegetarian. Veronica also starts to show signs of abuse. Hand marks appear on her shoulder, and the neighbor downstairs complains of loud noises and black stains on her ceiling. The mother, of course, plays the ignorant adult and tells Veronica that she's stressed, and she just doesn't want to help. We are introduced to a blind old nun who has somewhat of a sixth sense. This again is a trope character in this type of film. The wise one who knows what's going on and gives the main character advice and the answers she needs. In this case, Veronica is told that once a seance starts, it must be finished. Things continue to head south for Veronica, and we move towards the ticking clock trope that was set up by the opening scene. She shows more bodily harm. She is attacked in her sleep by a figure who moves through the shadows. Antonito is burned in the bathtub and scalded by hot water when a demon distracts Veronica. Through all this, it's kinda suggested, however, that Veronica is actually doing these things subconsciously or while possessed. And this is really hammered home in a scene where one of the sisters is being choked by the creature. And when Veronica snaps out of the trance, the sister asks her, "Why were you choking me, Veronica?" She returns to her 2 friends that she performed the initial seance with and tries to convince them that they need to finish what they started. But Rosa and Diana are now total bitches and want nothing to do with her. Veronica then does some investigation and finds stains in a somewhat human shape underneath all of her siblings and her own bed mattress. And while her mother is at work, she decides enough is enough and that she will try to finish the seance with her 2 younger sisters. Fortunately, Veronica has some occult magazines that help guide her and provide her not only with Norse symbols of protection, which end up really not doing anything at all, and the magazines provide her with the solution that a mantra or a soft song must be performed to conclude the seance. So little Antonito suggests they should sing a jingle that runs on a television commercial, so they all sing the Centinela song, which I have to admit is catchy, and I found myself humming it a day later. They end up summoning the creature, which we're never sure if it's the father or something else. The sisters end up running from the building, but the monster takes little Antonito, and Veronica is forced to face it, and she comes to the realization that the creature dwells within her, and she finally understands that the only way to save her family is to kill herself. She uses a broken piece of mirror and slits her own throat. We then cut to the detective from the opening scene searching the apartment, and the timelines finally match up. He enters the room where Veronica is and sees her convulsing, suspended in midair, screaming, before finally tumbling to the floor. The emergency services take her away from the building on a stretcher, and we're told that she has passed away, ultimately taking her own life to save her family. We are then shown crime scene photos that really try to hammer home the based on a true story trope. I give this movie a 7 out of 10. I really did enjoy it. Unfortunately, it may be a victim of its own hype. Watching it cold, I think you'll really enjoy it, but if you go into this after reading all the hype and expecting the scariest film of all time, you'll more than likely be let down. Personally, I thought The Conjuring was far scarier and had many of the same tropes. All in all, I think this is a great movie and a great entry into the horror movie genre. It's well worth a viewing. The film is beautiful, full of great shots, colors, and top-notch cinematography. While the story is nothing new, it does feel fresh, mainly due to the likable and well-acted main characters. Really looking at this film, there's only about 4 characters in the whole movie. Everyone else is just background. But you genuinely care about the kids and hope they make it out of this horrible situation. And that's my review of Veronica. I hope you liked it, guys. Hit that like and subscribe button below, and there's going to be a lot more heading your way soon. Thanks for watching.